People have been scaring each other from the time there has been a Halloween. But the question is, since how long has there been a Halloween? What is the reason for everyone, young and old, to wear a mask, paint colors on their face and body, dress up and look as scary and ghostly as possible? What is trick or treat? Why do people decorate their houses with coffins and tombstones and skeletons? Why are the dead celebrated? To unlock, we need to dig up the real story and find out the reason for this strange celebration. Welcome to My Halloween.
Welcome to my nightmare. I think you're gonna like it.
I only know that the name Halloween comes from the eve of All Hallows, All Saints.
I think Halloween has different origins. Like mainly, it's coming from Christian feast.
I think it started in England.
Shane, it started here. It's Irish.
Mainly a Celtic festival, and it comes from not particularly Ireland, it can be Scotland as well, and also the Celtic parts of Britain and in southern Britain, and also the Celtic parts of France.
Going back to ancient times in Ireland, going back to primitive times. And this is where all the ghouls and sort of the ghosts and the mythology of Ireland comes from, you know.
Okay.
So this is pre-Christianity in Ireland, when people believed in all of this sort of stuff here, you know.
Yeah.
So that's basically what it goes back to.
So you
To celebrate all the saints on the 1st of November, the night between 31st of October and 1st of November. But it's also mixed with other cultures that are celebrating kind of spirits and ghosts and monsters or something like that, like scary stuff.
In America, it has been very, very commercialised, and it is a very big celebration. And one must remember also, there are so many people of Celtic origin living in America, particularly the Irish, but Scots, of course, as well.
Nowadays, Halloween is just a commercial thing,
yeah.
mostly. It's only something for kids, mainly to enjoy and have fun, and play together, scare themselves, pranks and stuff like this, and also getting loads of candies and sweets.
This treasured tradition started thousands of years ago. The Celtic tribe of Ireland and Scotland would celebrate their Samhain harvest festival on a night with bonfire to mark the end of the light half of the year or summer and the beginning of the dark half, that is winter. Samhain is believed to have Celtic pagan origins, and there is evidence that it has been an important date since the ancient times, the 31st of October. The practice was deemed to have protective and cleansing powers, and there were rituals involving them. Samhain was seen as a liminal time, when the boundary between this world and the other world could more easily be crossed. It was believed that the nature spirits needed to be propitiated, that is, to gain their goodwill and favor, to ensure that the people and their livestock survived the winter. Offerings of food and drink were left outside. Portions of the crops were also left in the ground for them. The dead were honored at Samhain because it was the beginning of winter and was seen as the most fitting time, as it was a time of dying in nature. The souls of the dead were thought to revisit their homes. Places were set at the dinner table to welcome and appease them. The Roman Catholic holy day of All Saints, or All Hallows, was introduced in the year 609 and was originally celebrated on the 13th of May. But in the year 835, the date was switched to the 1st of November. 1st of November was chosen because of the date of the Celtic festival of the dead, Samhain. The Celts had influenced their neighbors. And later the 2nd of November was chosen as All Souls' Day, commemorating the faithful departed. Over time, the night of the 31st of October came to be called as All Hallows Eve or All Hallows Even. Samhain influenced All Hallows Eve, and the two eventually morphed into the secular holiday known as Halloween. There are several games associated with Halloween. Some of these games originated as divination rituals or ways of foretelling one's future, especially regarding death, marriage, and children. Other common games include apple bobbing or dunking, in which apples float in a tub or basin of water, and the participants must use only their teeth to remove an apple from the basin. In many parts of the world, the Christians observe All Hallows Eve by attending church services and lighting candles on the graves of the dead, although elsewhere it is a more commercial and secular celebration. Some Christians historically abstained from meat on All Hallows Eve, a tradition reflected in the eating of certain foods on this vigil day, including apples, potato pancakes, and soul cakes.
of October.
Trick-or-treating, partying, costumes, dressing up.
Okay.
Going around doing trick and treat, knocking on doors.
You know, knocking on doors and saying, "Hi, how's it going? Trick or treat," and getting treats. But
Get some sweets and like fireworks for the kids, make them happy, you know.
Okay.
It's for the children, really, you know.
Okay.
But you must be part of it.
Okay.
And then as you get older, you go out to parties in the evening, and everybody dresses up, and there's competitions for fancy dress and this sort of thing, you know.
Yeah.
now it's all about drinking and just having a laugh, you know. That's what we Irish do around here.
I'm going to go out and dress up on the
Okay.
31st, and I'm going to win the competition again.
So
this
there's
year.
a competition?
Oh, absolutely. Everywhere, every club, every bar, everyone puts on a costume.
Yeah.
For me, nowadays, Halloween is just a commercial thing.
We associate Halloween too also with scary films. You know, teenagers being hacked and ripped by some killer out there somewhere on the loose.
Yeah.
You know.
Getting ready for Halloween! Missing out on Halloween!
That's my Halloween.
Telling ghost stories and watching horror films are these days the common fixtures of Halloween parties. Episodes of television series and Halloween themed specials are commonly aired on or before Halloween, while new horror films are often released before Halloween to take advantage of this themed holiday. Trick or treat. Trick or treat. The word trick, which is usually idle, is a threat to perform mischief on the homeowners or their property if no treat is given to them. The custom comes from the belief that supernatural beings or the souls of the dead roamed the earth at this time and needed to be appeased. At the 15th century, among Catholics, there had been a custom of offering soul cakes. People would visit houses and take soul cakes either as a representative of the dead or in return pray for their souls. However, in Scotland and Ireland, the term was guising. Children would go from door to door in disguise, and a gift in the form of food, coins, or apples or nuts for the Halloween party was given out to the children dressed up in various costumes. The tradition was called guising because of the disguises or costumes worn by the children. Blame or thank the Americans for the modern phrase trick or treat. What is the jack-o'-lantern? Development of artifacts and symbols associated with Halloween formed over time. Jack-o'-lanterns are traditionally carried by guisers on All Hallows Eve in order to frighten evil spirits. The myth behind it is that Jack encounters the devil and tricks him into climbing a tree. A quick-thinking Jack etches the sign of the cross into the bark, thus trapping the devil. Jack strikes a bargain that Satan can never claim his soul. After a life of sin, drink and mendacity, Jack is refused entry to heaven when he dies. Keeping his promise, the devil refuses to let Jack into hell and throws a live coal straight from the fires of hell at him. It was a cold night, so Jack placed the coal in a hollowed out turnip to stop it from going out. Since which time Jack and his lantern have been roaming, looking for a place to rest. In Ireland and Scotland, the tradition started with turnip, but the immigrants to North America used the native pumpkin, which is much softer and larger, making it easier to carve than a turnip. The costumes of Halloween. Halloween costumes are traditionally modeled after supernatural figures such as vampires, monsters, ghosts, goblins, skeletons, witches, and anything that is scaring and insane. Dressing up in costumes and going guising was prevalent in Ireland and Scotland. Costuming became more popular in the dawn of the 20th century in America as artists of that era brought together all possible characters for Halloween parties, both for children and adults. Food in Halloween. On Halloween, many Western Christians encourage a meat-free day, giving rise to a variety of vegetarian foods associated with this day. Because Halloween comes in the wake of the yearly apple harvest, candy apples, toffee apples, caramel apples are the common Halloween treats made by rolling whole apples in a sticky sugar syrup, sometimes followed by rolling them in nuts. One custom that persists in this modern-day island is the barmbrack. This is a light fruit cake into which a plain ring, a coin and other charms are placed before baking. Other foods associated with Halloween are the monkey nuts, bonfire toffee, caramel corn, Halloween cake, roasted pumpkin seeds, roasted sweet corn, candies in the shape of bats, pumpkins, etc., and soul cakes.
You're talking to a ghost now.
Yeah, I've never encountered, not personally, you know, except when I look in the mirror, I get a fright.
But I've definitely heard people talk about seeing them, so I'm not sure if that's true or just bullshit.
Experience something like that, but I do believe, and the only reason I believe is when I then went to see a medium. Yeah. And the medium was able to tell her everything about my granddad after he passed away and stuff. That's the reason I believe it, because she wouldn't have known anything.
Well, it would be in conflict with what my church's teaching is, but I do believe that there can be ghosts and spirits.
I believe in ghosts and spirits, but I haven't experienced that myself.
Yeah.
I know people around me, like family or friends, close friends, that has some experience, like has experience or just witnessed some weird, strange stuff.
People that claim they have sight powers and things like that, if these people are genuine, because a lot of money is to be made out of telling fortunes. And
you know, we go back to the time of the Celts and before that even, so I think it's part of our sort of our culture to be a bit like this, you know, we believe in all these sort of things.
now she died of fever, no one could save her, and that was the end of poor Molly Malone. Now her ghost
wheels that barrow through streets broad and narrow, crying cockles and mussels, alive, alive, oh.
Halloween is a showcase of everything the human race fears. Through centuries, fear and mankind have stayed together, and on this night, fear is celebrated with fun and enjoyment. Thank you, Dublin, for introducing me to this unique celebration hidden behind the mask.
Alive, alive, oh.